Welcome in, guys. You know what's going on today. We have a very special guest on today, one of my dear friends. Before we get into that, let me tell you a little bit about the show. The Exp Talk Show is originally started out as a show fueled by science, and then conversations around technology and some psychedelic stuff. And what it eventually turned into was sharing experiences, regardless of the genre. So I started reaching out to people that I knew would have great conversations in general. This isn't like a super high level of thinking required sort of conversation. It's just a conversation. So feel free to jump in if it's on topic.
IQ is way too low for that.
Dude, you got 69 IQ, man. That's
true.
But we're gonna have I think it's gonna be a fun conversation. We're gonna be talking about music, social media, Twitch, comedy, quite a few things. And I hope you guys are super stoked to join in. So without further ado, welcome in, Etwurt.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there I am.
You're in.
I'm still in my shorts that I wore this morning. I went out and I came back and I changed back into my shorts. So,
dude, I'm wearing shorts right now too.
Heck yeah. Thigh slaps.
Thank you for coming in on the show, by the way, dude.
Of course. Thanks for having me here. It's a little bit strange to be on I've never done anything like a dialogue with anyone like this before on Twitch, so it's really strange.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'll be fun.
I think a lot of it has to do with like relinquishing control from it.
Yeah, it's not my stream, so it feels weird. But also, I could say whatever I want.
Yeah, you can. You better not. Stick to the script, Edward. Stick to the script.
Goes back to reading dialogue. Yeah, it's get snuggly. Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited.
I wanted to tell you also, like, one of the things that I really enjoy about you as a person is just the honesty that the authenticity that comes from like everything that you have coming from your stream, even like the memes and the comedy and stuff. And even though I didn't get to hang out with you long at TwitchCon, I still very much enjoyed like the conversations I was having with you and everyone there. And I do like what I sincerely mean. Like when I say you're an inspiration for me, I really do mean that. It's something that I like. It's just you're pushing the boundaries on like yourself, and it's reflected in what you're doing online. But like as somebody who dabbles in comedy and like just kind of zooms in my face and like video edits a thing here and there when I can, it's really fucking cool to see you like doing all of that stuff. So I can't honestly, like, I don't know if I would be where I am in terms of the authenticity part on my stream if it wasn't for your content.
I could honestly say the same thing about you and a lot of people in Lits. Like when I first joined, I was just I don't know. I was still just very much starting out and didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know how I wanted to like get the platform or how I wanted to be on the platform, how to like portray myself. And I feel like I have a better understanding of that now because of you guys. With all you, I mean, you say it's just a zoom in, but it's all about timing, right? And the timing of each zoom in has got to be very, because it's very, I don't know. There's a weird tech aspect behind Twitch too that a lot of people don't know about, like when you're doing all these effects and getting all that to work, and then like trying to be funny, and then probably playing a game, and then also I don't know, trying to hit all these different buttons that you have or keyboard macros that you have like laid out and everything. It's kind of stressful, but I don't know, it's gonna hang out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like
you guys definitely inspired me. Like you, Droopy Drawers. I saw you guys like your Chili's thing killed me, and I was like, that's great. I could do something like that. Like I love memes. I have a deep understanding of them, I feel. So I was like, hell yeah, I could definitely make this. This is like more where I wanted to gear it towards. Yeah, and it's more going towards there now as opposed to gameplay. Because now I get bored of a game for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I'm just, well, maybe that's exaggeration, but like an hour or two.
Yeah,
I just rather just talk and do nothing. Like I don't know.
Agreed.
That's the dream.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just you find this like sort of like you said, timing. There's like a comedic timing to all this stuff. There's a there's a way to like be operating when you want to emphasize a moment. And so what you're doing is like when you say creating content, it's like an all encompassing term, but really what you're doing is you're creating a like window into your thought process. And like, especially if you have all these like different things going on in your head, like clearly you have a fuckload of different like you have a bunch of different ideas and shit that just happen. Like, what if I could just be like a fucking coffee shop lady and just like tell people how cute they are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know where that. I don't even know where that came from. It started off as a coffee shop guy, and then I don't know. I was like, would it be funny if I was a girl? And I was like, this is way better.
Yeah, you do a really good job of being the girl.
yeah, way better. I don't know why.
I think you draw it from probably like some real world inspiration, because that voice is like in my head too. Like when you transition, I was like, oh dude, I already know what you sound like.
Yeah. It definitely. I used to work at Starbucks for like ever.
Yeah.
And so I've been surrounded by people like that. Like the whole, you have to be very retail. You have to be very retail when you work at a place like that. So
yeah.
Man, and there's people that have been there that they have no intention of going up in the company. They just want to stay where they're at and they're happy with it.
Yeah.
And that's how they are all the time, inside of work, outside of work. It's just, and I'm like, oh man, it's like watching a comedy sketch, but like, because they're like that. It's not just at the coffee shop. They're like that all the time. So
right.
I was like, I need to put this in the stream. It'll be good stuff.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you're doing a really good job of, it's like memeing the real world to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Riley, welcome in, dude.
Oh, man.
We're interviewing Etwurt. Bam. Hold on. I gotta.
What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? Fucking. He always gets me with this goddamn fucking notification. Did you hear that audio?
No, I didn't hear the audio, but I just like the idea of like
I
in
have
the middle of something. What are you doing?
Yeah, he does it to me all the fucking time. What are you doing? Is the audio clip? It's fucking. Okay. I was like, God damn it! It always like resets my thought process too. Like I could be extremely pissed off, and then he'll pop in and he'll just be like, "What are you doing?" God damn it! All right, it's turned off. Oh my God, K-Pit's coming in with 30 hunks.
Crap.
Oh shit.
I'm like babe bit.
God damn it.
Got her.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Can I get some smooches on the mic?
Oh yeah. Tempted to risk it.
Welcome in, everybody. You guys, we're doing a talk show. I'm sorry, this is normally where I'm like just singing the Reggie Watts fuck shit stack song. Well, I'm not sorry about that. We're interviewing an awesome person. K-Pit was on the show last week, and now we got Etwurt going on. Legendary Me Marino. I just say quality dude. Quality dude.
Relative term, but
yeah.
I have a problem accepting compliments. Sorry, I don't know.
Dude, same.
Tells me that, but
I'm like, like I don't know what to fucking do. Now I just like, I don't know. I get like kind of teary eyed. One of the things I think like, I don't know if you can say the same thing about this, but like for me, when I started streaming, it was very difficult for me to start, and then I stopped entirely and just like became a chat person and just like hung out for a little bit, and then came back after finding like inspiration from people that I thought were kind of aligned with my, I don't know, what's the vibe is the word I want to use.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair enough term. But yeah, like I know what you mean. I never took a break, but I totally get what you mean. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, I don't know, didn't really put too much effort into it at first. Well,
right.
At first I actually started doing music streams, and those were actually kind of going somewhere really fast. And then I started playing games, and I had like 0 viewers all the time. And so
So what were you doing music wise? I didn't know you were doing those.
Yeah, I originally started off doing those, and I would get like up to 20 people like the first week of just starting the stream. And like that was really fun, but it got very like, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I don't
You're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm trying to like work through my creative process here, and like it's not helping with you guys critiquing everything I do. Like I know it sounds like shit, I'm very much aware that it sounds like shit. I don't even tell me it sounds like shit. Like, I just need to get through this part and like see if go through all the avenues that I could possibly take with this part, and then hopefully move on. And so it get really frustrating. So I just started playing games. I was like, this is nice. Like I can figure out what I want to do on Twitch, because like I really like the idea of doing music on Twitch, but it's just so fucking hard. It's so hard. I don't know how like the actual music streamers do it. Blows my mind. Like, because well, I think it's different because they play like actual songs and covers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I like produce and make music, so it's like me trying to figure out what direction I should take, and that's a very slow, boring, not fun usually process until like you get it going, until you get the idea going, because it's like you're trying to build around an idea basically, but if you have no idea, I don't know, there's nothing to make there. But
yeah, and you're like dabbling in all these different directions and people want to help you, and it's like, no, that's not what I need. Yeah, I
don't need you to help me. Like I could try that, but it's not gonna help me.
I know what I'm doing, boys and girls. You know, just I need you to just sit in the car and fucking watch me drive.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about doing it again, just leaving chat off next time, and so we'll see how that goes. But yeah. So, but yeah, I know what you mean though. Finding people that you vibe with. Going back, I remember when I first started streaming. Holy shit. There was a group of people that I really clicked with, and we would play games together. We built a community around each other, and there was like some sort of discourse that happened in the thing, and like me and this other guy, what was it, anything between us, but it was like he did something that I didn't agree with personally. And I was like, I don't know how to, I don't know, be a part of that anymore, so I just kind of left that and did my own thing ever since then, and had to like literally 1 year later I had to like redo everything all over again. So it was just getting new viewers and like meeting new people again, and I feel like I've surrounded myself with really nice, great, amazing, handsome, and beautiful people. So I don't know, it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, I feel like you just kind of naturally attract that depending on how you're operating, and I don't know, when there's
weird.
It's definitely yeah. I feel like you have like a really, I don't know, I got introduced to a lot of people that I really enjoy as part of it, and it's kind of hard to, I guess, articulate it, but like I really enjoy a lot of pretty much I feel like your words have a lot of weight behind them when you're like, check this person out, like they sincerely are a great person or whatever. Any recommendation you've had, I've always been like, okay, well, I mean, Etwurt is, I'm talking about you as if you're like not here, but Etwurt has like a certain golden seal on it, and it's just for me, the brand is just like, this is somebody that he would hang out with, and that's that means a lot coming from a person. I feel like it's very easy for people to just kind of throw shout outs out like constantly, like you're a streamer, shout this person out, you support the stream, shout this person out, but there's definitely some weight that I get from people, and like Meggles is one of those examples that I mean, I fucking love hanging out in Meggles streams, just having great conversations. Even she's playing through Majora's Mask right now, and I'm like, I honestly wouldn't be here probably if like I didn't know her through your channel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I wouldn't even met her either unless she had raided a mutual friend of ours. It's Alley Cat, and I would have never have met her. And then she raided, and then she came in. She was kind of funny in chat, so I was like, I'll check her out. And I was like, oh man, she was like really shy, and I thought it was funny because she would say things and not really realize what she was saying. And then like watching her evolve into being like an open, honest person on Twitch. I'm gonna suck her dick a little bit, but like I thought she was fucking fun. It's been amazing. It's been so cool watching her come out of her shell, and like I don't know, it's been like she's like been my favorite person like I've met in a very, very, very long time. So
I agree. It's super great, like seeing people come out of their shell, and I think streaming is a really good avenue for that.
Oh yeah. I wish I can go back in a little bit, because now I've tried the whole trope of streaming is to talk and dialogue everything you're doing all the time. And now I do that all the time, and I can never just shut up. I just can't. I don't know. I just can't shut up now, and it's really bad. And when I'm in social situations, I just talk and talk, and I can't stop talking. And like, I don't want to take over a conversation, but sometimes I feel like I definitely take over conversations, and I talk too much, and I'm too fucking weird to be talking, and I'm not the one that you want to be representing a circle of people. So it's just, I don't know. It's really weird, but I don't know. Yeah, watching people come out the shells is fucking fantastic. I could do that all the time.
But I agree. There's some weird behaviors that come from like being a streamer, and that's definitely one of them. I think I think we can all agree there. There's some like bad behaviors, there's some good ones, but overall, like I think I don't know if you agree with this, but like I think what happens is you're just spending a lot of time with yourself, right? And so you're the most comfortable when you're like getting to know yourself personally, like isolation, quote unquote, but this is like the most social way of being isolated. Because not to say you guys aren't here, you know what I mean? Like you're not physically in front of me. Like if you were in a house, like it's not a house party. We try to handle it as if like we're surrounded by people, but mentally like we see a lot of usernames and we associate them with people. But I think what starts to happen is that you start to not worry so much about how people perceive you, and it's just more about being accepted. And slowly but surely, like you start to get, and I've seen you do this. You have a great community of people who are there for Etwurt specifically, and it doesn't really matter what content's on there. Maybe they won't hang out as much if they don't like see the game, but for the most part, I think you've got a bunch of people who are just friends, is what it is. You know what I mean? Like they just they vibe with you really well.
Yeah, everyone's super supportive. I don't get it, because I don't know.
Does it surprise you?
Very much so, because you kind of imagine like having something like that when you first start streaming, right? And then it happens and you're like, I say this all the time, but when are people gonna realize I'm just a fucking sham? And like I'm in a fucking garage right now talking on the internet and nobody's figured it out yet. Like I don't know, it's weird to me. It trips me out. It's so crazy to me. I don't know.
What's like the trippiest thing like for you?
The trippiest thing? Meeting people in real life. That's been the trippiest thing. Like I've been so disappointed. I'm like, just kidding. Everybody I've met. No, but like it's been great meeting everyone. Like everyone I've met like in online that I've actually felt a connection with, I've loved like meeting them in person. It's been even better. It's crazy. It's so weird. It's even better in person because you're like, I don't know. When I first met Dankuv, it was like hey, I'm going to TwitchCon. And he's like, hey, me too. Like, you want to stay at my house? I'm like, all right. And I went. This guy's fucking awesome. He's like, he's exactly the same online as he is in person. Like, he's genuinely just. It says you and him are like the nicest people I think I've ever met anywhere, and like the most genuine people I've ever met.
Shut up,
weird.
Dude. That's how I feel. Like, shut up, stop. No. Yeah, I don't know how to handle those compliments, but I do. Like, I mean, I have to honestly, like, it's really cool. I get getting to meet you and like everybody. You saw me. I was crying. Like, that was weird.
Yeah. It's an emotional experience for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever would have been like that ever had I not started streaming, because like a lot of the stuff that just naturally comes up in the conversations for like the talk show end up getting pretty deep, and sometimes like a lot of the stuff that I've talked about is like self-discovery and all that, and it's being vulnerable because growing up I wasn't allowed to be, and then I'm just sitting there in the middle of like this, and I feel like I can explain this a little bit when you're talking about this, like meeting everybody in person was like a validation that I had surrounded myself with great people. And I was so overwhelmed with that I was just like, and then Rocco was just like the fucking cake. Like that was just like on top of that. Like, cause I don't know, dude. I have a really, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll let you finish. That was me taking over a conversation again.
You're good. Yeah, it was just like meeting Rocco. Rocco, for those of you guys who don't know, Say Hey Rocco is a amazing streamer, a cat puppet that loves cheese fries. And the reason why I had gravitated towards this particular portion of the internet was not because of that. It was because the personification of that puppet is this voice that I feel like we all have inside of us. And it's the super optimistic, weird, goofy voice that like we all don't fully tap into. It's just this like thing that's a part of us that we don't really get to play around with anymore because we're adults now, and it's not like really okay to do that. But with a puppet, you can channel that, into a character. And Rocco is very much like a real person. Like that's real, you know, like that
Yeah.
feeling of being in the room with Rocco is a real feeling. It reminds you of you being a kid, being that, like, I don't know, just being that mindset. It's like almost nostalgic. It's like the embodiment of positivity as a child, like what is it called? Naivete.
Wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, just like everything's great,
exactly
nothing's
that.
bad, everything's great. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like this channeling of this super positive force, and meeting like even though it was Rocco's voice, even meeting my very own voice, it was just like, okay, that's it, I'm crying. And then like you were hugging me from behind and like smooching me, and I was like, oh my god, it's Etwurt, he's hugging me. Yeah, like it just, I don't know, dude, it was crazy. But go ahead, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna talk about how great Rocco is. Like, when I met Mom, and I was Rocco's mom. When I met Rocco's mom, like, it was like, hey, then you see Rocco, and then it's so believable that that's an actual like entity in there. It's nuts. It is crazy. It blew my mind, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty freaking rad. Like, there's something very special, and like you said, it's like brings you a level of innocence, and it's fantastic. It's so great. My kid loves Rocco. Like,
of course.
Like, you can't not love Rocco. Like, you can't not.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
If you don't, you need to go to therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go to therapy.
Probably go anyway. It's good for your mental health.
It's good for your health. Oh man. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit too, like about. I mean, I know like just streaming has been kind of like a weird thing as of late, and there's like stream coaches and like all this other stuff. Like, what got you? What made you decide that like you were going to stream? Was it something that you had like watched in, and then you were like, I'm gonna broadcast, or?
Loneliness? I don't know. Honestly,
agreed. Yeah.
Maybe a bit of being like always working alone and being alone like so much. I needed an outlet to talk to somebody else, even if it was just anyone to talk to. That's not somebody that I see all the time. That is either, because like I could talk to my wife all the time, but she doesn't want to hear me. She's like, shut up, I don't care. I'm gonna go do something else because I have my own life too. I can't have you talk to me 24/7. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then like, so like and then you have to have your own group of friends too, and I was just missing more and more of that, and not true. Wow, called out on stream. But Emma Terry's my wife, by the way. But
he's visibly sweating right now.
Yeah, it's hot in here. Like, I'm in a garage, and oh my god, I'm burning up right now. It gets so hot in the evening. That's why I don't stream this late.
Yeah.
So but yeah, like I just wanted somebody else to talk to, and I also like wanted to do something that I could do, I don't know, creative, like a different type of creative outlet, because well, I first started off with music, and I wanted to like promote that more. Then I just kind of started. I was never really into Twitch. I just started doing something as I heard, and I was like, okay, this could be fun. And then I just like started doing music. I was like, maybe I could promote my music here. And then I realized quickly about trolls, and that was short-lived. And I was like, I don't want to put my name out there, like my full name out there.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, maybe I shouldn't do that. And so that's why I more started gearing towards gaming, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then I kind of shifted that into being an online living meme, I guess, more or less.
Online,
yeah.
Sorry.
Very citrusy. I'm a very citrus boy.
The citrus boy. He's buoyant.
Yes, very. But yeah, it's been that whole feeling of like, I don't know. And Terry will back me up on this too. Like, I don't hang out with a lot of people very often. I don't even go outside that often because like, I don't know. It's more than likely my social anxiety, the reason why I don't go outside. I'm a very anxious person.
Really?
In my life. Oh yeah.
I had no idea. Well, I mean, I would never know. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I can socialize really well. People like me. Like usually first time they meet me, they really like me. But the more that like I don't like going to like social events for like Terry's holiday parties and stuff like that for her job, and I'm just it's just I don't know, it's the same thing every year, and I just don't like it. I'm like, I can't function. If somebody wants to talk to me and ask me how my day was, and I don't like small talks, I'm like, you don't really give a shit. You're just talking to me because you see me here by myself, but I'm actually happier not having this stupid conversation with you about like, what'd you do today? Oh, I played I played Demon Souls online and I died a lot for a lot of people. That's not something that you give a shit about. Like, and I don't want to explain it to you. You don't really want me to explain it. You're either just waiting for me to tell you about your day and how amazing you are. Like,
some people aren't actually listening. They're just like waiting to talk. Yeah,
and I just don't want to deal with that. And I just and I always have this. I want. I'm admitting a lot, but like it's true. Like I won't even go outside if my neighbors are out because I don't want to talk to them and be like, "Hey neighbor, hey, how are you?" I'm like, I don't. Oh God, I just hate it. It's just so frustrating to me.
I can see this like so much on your face. It's like penetrating your soul. You're really putting us in the shoes of like how you feel. And honestly, like it really is. I had no idea. Like, thank you for sharing that. That's nuts.
Yeah. I don't. Like I do it well and I could fake it and I can be like, yeah, hi, but inside I am just dying and screaming to like go inside or like do anything else. Like I said, I don't mind talking to people to actually connect with, but if I don't want to force a connection. I don't want to be that. I don't know. There's just not enough time for me to fake things in my life to.
Agreed.
We don't have. Not everybody has to love everybody. Well, I mean, not everybody. We should treat each other with respect. We don't have to talk to each other and like force ourselves in these situations.
Right. Exactly.
But I mean, I don't know. It's just maybe I don't know. That's just me though. But like that's why I like Terry's brother-in-law so much because we could just sit there at like Christmas or Thanksgiving and just sit there and not talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, hey. How's it going? It's going pretty good. How about you? Pretty good. And then that's it.
Yeah.
There's no like talking. There's nothing else. We're just on our phones. Like, this is nice. Like, you're being around people that you kind of have to be around because it's a family situation.
Right.
And you don't get the whole family drama. You don't get any of that because that's just like always something waiting to happen because somebody fucking overcooked the fucking mashed potatoes. Like, I don't know. Like, that's its own drama in there. And then like there's something else going on about X, Y, or Z. And it's just, I don't know. But I don't know. There's very few people that like actually talking to, but you're one of them for sure.
Thanks, man.
And you could tell when I like talking to somebody because I could just talk forever.
So
I'll stop and
no, don't be self-conscious about it. Yeah, I think I think it's just I don't know. It's one of those things where if you're comfortable and you know that you're going to be able to talk to them about whatever and not be judged or worry about like what you're going to be saying. Like that's a lot of it. Like you mentioned, like a lot of people are waiting for their turn to talk and are only doing it to be polite, but they don't really give a shit about like what you're saying. And you can get that vibe pretty quickly from somebody. You get the intention. That's what I mean by vibe is like you get their intention with the conversation. And man, like I don't know. I find that people like talking about themselves. So in those situations, it's a lot of like just eye contact and and then like that's it. Like you're just you're kind of stuck there for a moment, and they're like, okay, well I'm gonna go. You know, like I found that what mitigates a lot of my social anxiety with like a lot of people is one of two things. One, medicinal herbs. and two, just being confident in knowing that like I'm not gonna be talking to them for that long, and then I just like kind of get out of there.
Yeah. I can't smoke like I used to. Like I can't smoke really at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like it makes me too anxious. I smoked recently. I had friends come over from out of state and they stood over. They wanted to go because California weed's legal.
Right.
And we went to a dispensary and holy shit. I had one hit of like something that was like 20% because it has to get measured.
Right.
If it's illegal in that state, you have to measure the THC content. So it's like 28% THC, and I took one hit and I was like high for like maybe like 30-40 minutes. And I was like, holy shit. And it wasn't like that I was high, it was like I was stupid for 30-40 minutes, and I was anxious and I was freaking out. I was like, how long is this gonna last? What if this lasts forever? I'm like, I can't smoke weed anymore. Like, there's no way. I'm freaking out way too much. I don't like the feeling of that. But I do want to get I know that there's some other type of like
CBD
else. CBD, yes, I want to try that. I need to try CBD because I hear that that's what's gonna like people. Edward's a lightweight. Like I'm not a lightweight. I used to smoke all the time, and I just stopped. And I think when I stopped, it really messed up my tolerance to it for sure.
Yeah. But also like a lot of people don't. I think, and this is something that I've talked about before. I don't remember if I've had this conversation so many times. I feel like Joe Rogan at some point, but it's like fucking I think like smoking, like burning it actually activates like a stupefying aspect to the plant, cuz like I don't know how to explain it, but like medicinally they can work out the negative aspects of the plant. And like okay, long story short, if you're fucking deer and you're out in the wild and you eat like a wild marijuana plant, the idea is that you'd get thirsty or hungry and you're going to leave that space to find like water, and then you're not going to remember where the plant is. So there's this like loss of direction and this like sort of like equilibrium like fuck up sort of thing. Yeah. And I think that happens when you burn it as well, because like it's stupefying for me. Like I don't burn anything. I have a vaporizer, and when I said medicinal herbs, like I was referring to the edibles where they're like 5 to 10 milligrams or less. So like that those for me like help with the whole social anxiety thing. I feel a lot more open, and there's not so much this like what's gonna happen. It's more of like I'm just present and I don't need to worry about everything happening or where I'm going sort of thing. It's interesting. But I agree, you got to be careful. Like when we were there for TwitchCon, I casually, and I say casually, I went outside with a few of our Lost in the Sauce members and we smoked a joint the whole thing. And then I distinctly remember walking in and I was looking around and I was like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that happens to me like every time now. Like it's just like I was like, maybe I'll relax tonight, maybe I'll dabble back into it again. I do it, I'm like, why did I do this? Like why am I like this? Like I just tried, but I really want to try CBD because I feel like that I heard that that's like the active ingredient that actually makes you relax. Yeah. So
it's everything without the psychoactive effects. So like you can you get the muscle relaxation and like the calming effect, but nothing else.
Yeah, because you do get really calm. I could just sit here in my chair, be anxious about if this is gonna last forever, but not have like I have the muscle relaxing. It's like the most calm, anxious you'll ever feel. But like, I don't know. But yeah, I've been wanting to try that. I need to go out and ask my dispensary about that because it's weird when you go in there. It's so strange. Is it? It's so different from when I was growing up and like there was some the delinquent at school would sell you drugs and you give them like $20, and then now you go in and it's like they have so much knowledge and they're like behind a counter and like, oh yeah, so well you see you want to smoke this, and like I'm like, these guys are fucking nerds. Like what is going on? When did this happen? Like these guys used to be like, I don't know, edgy, and now they're just like, oh,
it used to be unsafe to buy drugs and now it's just safe. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what happened? Our great country, I tell you. What happened? Oh my god. It's a weird experience.
I think it definitely is weird. I remember my first time going in one, and it was almost like I thought I was going to be caught at any moment. Like I was just like, this is okay, everything's fine. Like I'm just like, they're like, I mean, what questions do you have? And I was like, the first time was actually really nice because they could sense that like I was uneasy. I mean, I literally was like body language, like, you know, like super fucking uptight and shit. I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't know what's going on.
They have armed guards, like tons.
That's
of
intimidating, dude.
It's crazy. So we go in because this is like all of our first time going to one, and we go in. I'm like, there's so many. I was like, I wonder who's high here right now that is freaking out by all these like super buff guys with guns, like walking around in and out, going back. There's like tons of money being moved back and forth, and it's cash only. So I started freaking out.
Yeah, dude.
Like, this is like a prime place to like, you know, hit up if you're gonna like steal something. Like, oh my god, we're gonna see somebody. It was nuts.
And with all those guards, you know that shit happened at least once. You know, like somebody tried it once. You know, so god damn, dude, that's so crazy. Oh yeah, I had no idea that whole like social anxiety thing. I had no idea. You do a really good job of like masking it, I guess, or at least like putting on the like non-anxious pants and walking around in them for a bit.
Yeah, TwitchCon is a little bit different because there's a lot more people that I was surrounded with that I knew. So it was like Terry was there, and that always helps. Having her there, then having I think having ponies around too actually helped because we're both very similar in a similar headspace, and I don't know, and then just being around people that you like trust helps a lot. So
yeah,
I don't know, but it was really fun. And then meeting everyone was more of like a awesome experience than as opposed to being like a nerve-wracking one. So that helped.
Agreed. It was definitely like a weird thing for sure. And Meggles made the joke earlier, but it was like, you have legs. Like, you're not just weird. Like a person on the screen. I'm like looking at these people and I'm like, man, everybody is actually a real person and I made real friends. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. And everybody's different heights than I thought they would be.
Yeah,
everybody's
dude.
Way different heights.
Yeah,
I felt expecting.
Sorry, go ahead.
I wasn't expecting anybody. I wasn't expecting everybody's heights. I was just like, oh man, there's a body, because you see from like the breast up.
Yeah.
Maybe me a little bit of thigh here, but like that's it. Like,
yeah.
And then you don't see anything else. It's weird.
Yeah, agreed. I was. A lot of people were. I think like the biggest person, or the person that surprised me the most was Slav.
Yeah.
Mega huge dude.
And Drew. Drew and I are like the same size.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. I don't know what I thought, how tall I thought he was going to be, but like when I saw him, I was like, we're like the same height. This is weird. I've never met anybody that's the exact, because I'm pretty short. I'm like below average height, but I'm not short. I don't know, but I'm not super tall or average either. But it's just like when you meet someone the same height, like our eye levels were like, when I saw him, I didn't look up or down. So I was just looking, I was like, oh, what the hell? It was strange.
And you're like, you're from the same universe as me.
Yeah. Yeah. We came from the same place. It's weird. But yeah, Slav is a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been making jokes all day. He sent me like a message on Twitter of like a backpack with like a step stool on the back for like a child, and I was like, dude, hell yeah, I would ride you around all of TwitchCon.
That'd be awesome.
Agreed. Let's take turns, man.
Riding around with Baby Bjorn. Fun.
Oh man.
The little bottle with a nipple and beer in it.
That's awesome. Real quick, hold on one second. I thought I missed something. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Dude, I don't know what's going on with, I think it's probably the new Streamlabs chatbot like update, but everybody is orange, so it's like hard for me to distinguish who's who.
Oh yeah, there's another update for it this morning, I think, that fixed the name colors.
Okay.
Unless that was the one that you installed and
no,
I don't know.
No, I didn't install it because I know better, I guess, than to install before like a stream happens. Oh man, yeah, Miss Preenie's here. Oh hell yeah! Welcome in. Welcome in.
My heart right now. This update is good.
This update is good. Okay, Full Tour, good to see you, bud. So I apologize if I'm not like calling you guys out. Again, like we're live, so I've turned off notifications. If you guys want to ask questions and stuff, we'll have like a section for it. When you guys do ask questions, if we miss it and it's on topic, feel free to post them in the chat and we'll try to get to them too. I wanted to talk a little bit about music with you because I know we had like a brief conversation on it. So music's obviously like a huge part of your life. It's like what you do for work, all that fun stuff. I remember how I got into music. I wanted to ask you, like, what was that driving force that got you into what you're doing now for a living? And like, you know, what happened there? Like, was it a childhood thing that you grew up doing it, or?
I don't know. Like I think it might have actually been one of the good things that my mom did for me was like growing up. She said like listen to different types of music, and because I was only listening, I don't remember what I was listening to when I was like 5 or 6, but I was listening to like
garbage,
bubblegum pop maybe. I don't know, whatever was popular then. I don't know, but so then I started listening to like just different stuff, and I kind of kept that mentality until high school. Well, junior high I think is probably when it peaked though. Like it piqued my interest because I joined band, and we had a really good band teacher, probably one of the best band teachers that I've ever had.
Would you say like best teacher?
Yeah, probably best teacher. I mean, I've had really good teachers. Like it's hard to quantify because I hated my math teacher, and Terry had the same one. She'll back me up on this. We grew up in the same small town, but we had this math teacher who was like just obnoxious and kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
But I remember everything he taught me, and that was
because he's an asshole.
I can still. Yeah. I can still. Well, no, it wasn't that. He was just like, you pay attention when you're in class, otherwise you get in trouble. Terry, of course, Terry liked him. She's a nerd, but otherwise, like you're gonna go out to the you're gonna get in trouble basically if you don't pay attention, and which is fair. But you're a preteen and you think you know better, and because we're junior high, so like you think you know better, and then you say something, you get in trouble, like, oh man, this guy sucks. But he would do everything over and over and over again, and literally until you couldn't forget it. And I remember everything. I'm the only one of my friends that knows how to do fractions still. I don't know
God
why.
damn.
It's so weird. It's so weird. Like it's like the most like I never use it practically in real life, but I mean, hey, I can still do them if I ever need to teach my kid, or when I need to teach my kid. If they haven't moved on to everything on the iPads, then. But yeah. So like he was a really good teacher, but as far as like fun teachers, I'd say like this guy was like probably my favorite teacher of all, like overall, because he was very much the same way, but a lot more nice about it.
Okay.
He was like, this is your, it's hard to quantify progress in music, and he very much did that with like, you by in this week you need to be here, you need to be able to play up to this song in this book that I'm giving you, and if you're not, you either pass or you fail. So there was no like A, B, C, or D or F. It was like you're passing or you're failing, because this isn't hard to do. It takes practice, but you can do it. And like one of the things he told us to take out of vocabulary was like, I can't. It's like I'm unable to right now is what you were supposed to say. And like, so that was like also very like a smart way to like teach a bunch of shitty kids. And because like when you have that mentality too, you really think you can if you keep saying it over and over. But if you say I can't right now, but you have to keep practicing at it, and you can get it. And but he was like such a good teacher. And like when we went to high school and we did band, we were our because there's two main junior highs in that area, and we went to high school. Our school was obviously the better of the two schools by leaps and bounds. We were playing like close to a college level by the time we got out of junior high.
That's amazing.
So like
amazing teacher.
Yeah, it was insane. Like I would have never thinking about it then, like I never thought like when you're a kid, like that's so like whatever, who cares, just a
soul. Yeah, you're right.
Like, and then like I don't know, now I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty awesome. Like as an adult, like I was good, I was really good, and like I kind of lost playing trombone. I can still play it, like I still play songs, I still read sheet music and stuff like that, but like I picked up my friends recently, like a couple of years ago, and I was just like, oh, this is like second nature now, because it's so, the way he taught us was so ingrained in my brain. It's just like it never lost it. But during that time I picked up piano, and I started playing piano, and then I kind of learned that pretty well then. And then I also picked up a guitar. I think I got for Christmas one year. My mom got me like some shitty Squire Stratocaster amp combo thing that really sucked, but it got me going and like got me learning how to play music. But did piano,
you, sorry to interrupt, did you apply the same practices that your teacher had instilled in you, or was it more of like your own thing at that point?
It was my own thing at that point, since I never really, because he taught us classically, right? So like I never learned those two instruments classically. So if my fingerings kind of, my piano fingering's fucked up, I can tell you that. Especially now, since I cut my thumb. Like I tried to play today, and I can't feel this side of my thumb. So like playing now, I fumble a lot more.
Was that recent? Was that a recent injury?
That was recent. Yeah, it was a recent injury.
Oh, okay.
Stabbed my thumb. Had to get 5 stitches.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I was an idiot. It was totally my fault. But then guitar, like I taught myself, and I think the internet was kind of becoming a thing then. So YouTube, I went to my friend's house, looked at the computer, looked at YouTube, and then kind of learned a few chords then, and then brought that back home. And I started in a band when I got to like 17. When I became 17, I think I started my first band, and
that's awesome.
That was pretty fun. It was a metal band, because like at that age I was only listening to metal. It was the only thing that like piqued my interest, and that and like rap were the only two things I really cared about listening then. And I couldn't tell you how influential some of the bands were, and like to me at the time, like hearing, like I remember the band that did it. There's 2 bands that did it. One of them was As Lay Dying, and the other one was Lamb of God, and they're 2 very different genres. Like if you listen to metal, you can hear the difference. A lot of people are just screaming, which you're not wrong, but it's very controlled. But they're 2 very different types of genres, but they were both like super like the influential to me. It was crazy. Yeah, and I just kind of emulated those 2 bands into my own style, and then started playing with them. not with them. Sorry, I played with my bandmates, and then we tried to do like local tours, and then that kind of didn't work out because, of course, being in a band, there's drama.
Yeah, especially when you're 17.
Especially when you're 17, 18. Yeah, it was just like a fucking mess, and then like ex-girlfriends and girlfriends. It was just a fucking joke. I don't know. It was really dumb in hindsight.
It's not. It's just. I mean, the experience is cool, but like I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's too many egos, and so like
you're all ego at 17, 18, man. You're like,
that's true.
Yeah, you're the badass
That's
and
true,
like all that
like,
shit.
But everybody wants to have the creative direction. Everybody wants to own
control.
Their part and like they want their own control. Like this is, you're not the drummer, you don't know. It's like, well, I mean, we can all hear that this sounds like shit. So that's one thing that we all know. What
do you mean? I'm a shitty drummer? Yeah.
Like, yeah, it just turned into a mess. So I joined a different band, and with funny story actually. I played on with, I don't know if you guys remember Static X, but I played with Static X once at the same venue. We opened for them, and I was
that's fucking cool.
I was talking about them on stream one day, and apparently I was like, yeah, I play with Static X. I was like, the guitar player is really like nice and funny. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean? Some guy in chat in Pocket, he's like, what do you mean? He's like, that's my dad. And I was like, what? I was like, what? No fucking way. He's like, yeah, that's my dad. And then
shut the fuck up. No way.
I was like, no fucking way. I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, holy shit.
Has that guy come back?
I see him all the time. Like he's a streamer. He's pretty interesting.
That's fucking crazy. What a small fucking world the internet makes.
I didn't believe him. I had him send me a picture in the Discord. I was like, I need to see a picture of you and your dad together. He's like, sure. And he sent it. And I was like,
that's not weird.
I was like, weird. That's so weird.
That's fucking nuts, dude. That's nuts.
Blew my mind.
Wow.
Like, small fucking world.
Dude.
But yeah, like he was really nice. And that was fun. But anyway, I started doing that stuff like that. And that's how I kind of got some contacts. I started playing with opening for a lot of different bands. Because we lived really far away. We lived like in closer to Vegas in California as opposed to being closer to LA.
Yeah.
So when we could do shows, we have to go travel like an hour and a half, 2 hours away a lot of the time. But it helped career wise and making connections with people. But then I joined a different band, and that band, we were so close to like being like a proper metal band. We were like getting ready to do like a big tour with this band. Big tour for us.
Right.
We've been like kind of like the stepping stone with Mantis, was that the band's name?
Mantis. Never heard of them.
Mantis. Yeah, they were on this old show, Battle for Ozfest. They won second place. And
gotcha. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah. They were kind of they were in our area, and we got our weed from the same guy, and so we met them like by happenstance, and we were talking to them like, sure, you can come with us. And I'm like, sure. And then like that would have been like, that's how we met a few more people, but then that didn't work out because our other guitar player, who still easily one of the best guitar players I ever heard in my life, like started doing meth pretty heavy.
Oh shit.
So it's just like, yikes. So we had to break up. It was just like, there's no way.
Because of the meth.
This guy, because he was so good. And like, I don't know, it was a mess, but feels bad, man.
Do you know what happened to him? Do you know, or is it just like severed ties and then you never heard from him again?
Like, as far as I know, he's still alive, maybe? I don't know. I don't even know if he's even alive. Like, nobody's heard from him. Like, he kind of started doing it, got kicked out of his house. Nobody wanted him to live with them because nobody wants a meth head in their house. Yeah. And
that's rough, dude.
Like, he was a nice guy, but like, it was just nobody wanted to take on that responsibility. And it wasn't a responsibility either.
Yeah.
But
damn, that's nuts.
So that was, yeah, it was really shitty. But yeah, that guy was super like honestly, I think hands down, if he were to he was one of the best guitar players I've ever, and I've seen a lot, and I've worked in the studio with a few really good guitar players, and he was still probably then at like, what was he, like 19, 20 years of age, the tender sweet age of 20 years old, and
the supple age. Yeah.
The supple age of 20 years old. But I still kind of keep in touch with our drummer, who's stupid good. I've always thought about going back to it and doing something with making a band, but I don't know. Like,
you can egos. You can do some really good stuff like with people now later in life, because usually
because it would just be for fun,
right? And a lot of that ego dissolves. Like, there's a lot of people who are doing collabs where like they're just like writing something and then they pass it to a friend and then they write on top of it and record, you know?
Yeah,
so
that's what I kind of started doing. I met this guy on Twitch. He does music production, and I kind of like his stuff. It's pretty good. He liked some of my stuff, and we were like, let's try it. It didn't work out because I don't think we have the same like idea process or like want the same outcome.
Sure.
So, it just didn't work out. But I mean, yeah, that for sure is a thing you could do now, which is pretty, I don't know, because I remember even then like things were getting smaller and less expensive, and you could do things on your laptop more and more so then too. So that's what we were like starting to do. But anyway, that didn't work out. So then I had a friend that I met, and then I through one of these things, and I started working with like these different bands and such, and that's kind of how I started doing music full time for a while. And then I kind of that doing that type of work is very few and far between. So you have to supplement this. You have to be very flexible.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do this stuff now. So then I kind of met somebody else who did through one of those meetups. Like that was another nerve-wracking experience.
What do you mean? Like a Twitch meetup? You mean?
Kind of like a Twitch meetup, but it's just like it's this app called Meetup, and you just go there, and it's everybody.
Whoa!
Who
I've
has, like,
never heard of this. Really?
It was a game dev. It was a game dev meetup. So I went there, and I was like, hello. Kind of went in. There's free beers. I was like, I don't do anything.
Hell yeah!
But hello. And I just kind of walked around, and I was like, okay, I don't know anybody. I was just sit here. I'll sit by myself. Maybe someone will come up to me. And this guy that came up to me happened to be one of the creators of the CDI. Like he wrote all the original code on the CDI.
What?
And he just goes to these things because he gets free beer every time he goes.
That's fucking awesome.
You go to these games. It's called Game Dev Meetup. You can look it up, and you go, and they'll usually give you like a ticket for a free beer at a bar in LA. And so he just goes and he talks to old friends, and he sees all the young talent, and he kind of picks somebody out maybe if he's going to do a project soon, because he's at that stage in his life where he doesn't have to work for anything really
ever. Yeah.
He works. He does whatever he wants, basically.
Yeah.
And
which is what we all would love to do. Yes.
Yeah, and it was amazing seeing like a talent like that, and I was like, oh shit, I never even thought about it like that being a type of thing that somebody could do. And then this other guy came up who had the same name as him, and he was actually had a very he's like a producer on a lot of different types of I don't even know what he does. Like I can't even describe to you what his job is.
He's just like a generalist.
He's like yeah, and he does everything, but he's like the top of everything every time he does it. I don't know how he gets these jobs, but he makes like 6 figures and he just does nothing. Like I'm like, how does he's a very good talker. That's what
I'd imagine, you know, like when you're dabbling in everything and executing on the fundamentals at a very high level for like everything, you kind of do whatever you want, and then you have connections where they're like, hey dude, you want to do this thing? You're like, fuck yeah, I do. I am bored. You know, like and that's how it works.
That's exactly what he would do. And he hooked me up with a couple other musicians, and it's when I started doing like music stuff for like indie games and apps and stuff like that too. So like music, like I've been making music like for as long as almost I can remember, and like doing a fairly good job at it, I would say, because you're only as good as your last piece of work.
Right.
And if your last piece of work sucks, I mean, as long as you don't suck, you're kind of okay. So you can like, oh, this is passing, this is all right. But then like dealing with like everybody's there's different like
vision of like what it should be, right?
Yeah, so like sometimes that might not be exactly what you're capable of, so you kind of have to fake it. And yeah, I've been able to fake it pretty well for this long, and I don't know, it's been okay.
Well, as long as you're
faking it on Twitch, so.
but you like what you do, clearly, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't have pursued it, you know, as like a career to do. Yeah.
I don't even see it as that. Like I just kind of started doing it. I don't even see it as I don't even know if it's sustainable. That's the other thing too that I freak out about all the time. Like I could never work like I worked at Starbucks for a long time, and I can't go back to another like job like that, like a standardized 9 to 5. It was literally like putting a nail in the coffin every day. So I was like, I gotta find a different way. I was already doing music at that time, but the money from Starbucks would supplement when I didn't have a job.
Right.
That's kind of where now kind of Twitch is also starting to curb that now. So that's been pretty nice. But even still, I'm just like, I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know. It's a little bit worrisome. Like, you're putting your all your cards in somebody else's basket, and you're like, hey, don't fucking shuffle these for me. 'Cause I need to figure out the way
If you fuck this up for me, I'm gonna fucking wreck your shit, dude. Don't do this.
I'll be poor.
Yeah. Help me, I'm poor. Yeah.
I don't want to eat ramen.
Yeah.
I like ramen though.
I mean, would you take the ramen over like working at Starbucks though?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
See, I think like
it's so scary to like do like a big change like that. And like I tell everybody, like a lot of people I talk to are very unhappy with
their job,
the work aspect of their life. Yeah, they're very unhappy with it.
Yeah.
And you could see it when you could see it on their face when they talk about work.
Like, how's the job? And they're like,
oh god, yeah, it's fine, and they're lying through their teeth, or
yeah,
oh god, it's fucking miserable, and they have a breakdown. And it's just, it is very scary, like taking that leap. It's so scary, but if you give a shit about anything else enough and you find a way to monetize that, you can do anything. And even if you might have to like gauge your level of success, but I mean, if you're not stressing out about waking up at 9 a.m. and feeling like shit, like, oh my god, I have to do this, like that in its own right is worth it. Like I'm a happier person, and you can ask Terry, like I was miserable for a very long time.
Oh yeah, man.
Very long time.
Dude, I tell the story all the time. I worked at Best Buy for like 3.5 years, and I was stoned out of my mind for those 3.5 years because it was just so unbearable. And like yeah, it's not worth, like, maybe you're at this job for like 2 or 3 years as a stepping stone to like where you need to be, but like I'm saying, like, get a savings account, find out during that downtime like what your true passion is, and pursue it as much as you can, because if you tap into like 1% of the population that cares, pardon me, whoa, if you tap into 1% of the population that
anymore, this is disgusting.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
If you tap into 1% of the population that cares, you're gonna be fucking rich.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people are like, oh, fucking titty streamers taking my fucking shit. It's like, dude, there's literally 1 million fucking people on this planet. There's 500 watching. It's not that big a number, bro. It's just like, you're tapping into that vein, you know?
Yeah. Also, if you're, I hate to say it, like,
say it, man.
Okay, well, if you're complaining about that, maybe you should make your content more interesting. Like,
maybe you should get bigger boobs.
Yeah, or get breast implants. But like, if you're doing the same thing, you're complaining all the time, like, I don't have the viewers that I want, but you're there and you're actually not, you're just turning on and not putting any effort. A lot of the time, those are the people that I hear like complaining and stuff like that, and I'm just like, you got to try a little bit, you know what I mean? You got to put a little bit of time, and it takes effort. It takes a lot of effort. I don't know, like it doesn't happen overnight. There's no way, nobody who's even probably booby streamers, like they probably had a, you know,
go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know what the words are that I'm looking for here, but they've put in work for something.
Yes,
I'm sure at some point, like
they understand how the fucking game works.
The meta. Yeah, they understood the meta, and they went for it. And then, like, I can't hate on anybody for that. Like,
no,
I mean, that's why I wear short shorts.
Yeah,
I got a thick ass, you know. Yeah.
You
gotta use with what God gave you.
Yeah,
but you have to do something. You have to do something, like, and especially now because Twitch is becoming so saturated, you have to have a level of production behind you too,
right?
And that's another thing that people don't understand. Like, you have to, it's more than just
turning the camera on and playing a game,
streaming. Yeah, you have to do something. You can't just, otherwise you're just gonna get lost in a sea of other faces with their mouth like half open playing a game. Like,
well, how do you hold somebody's attention? You know what I mean? It's like we're in this society of things like social media, especially how videos are super short. They get to the point. Like, everybody's posting like going live tweets and like all this other shit. And it's like, how do you get through the sea of people to like notice that something is different about you? You know what I mean? And it's fucking, that alone is difficult. Like, tweeting when I go live is always like really strange. experience for me, and I know you feel the same way. We talked a little bit about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the right answer is. I just like to complain. So like you hear me right now saying like complaining about somebody who's complaining about something. That's just me liking to complain. But it's true. Like I don't know how to gauge it. I don't know how to use social media anymore. Like I know how to use social media. Like I know what could and potentially work, but you're also going to garner like a different type of audience, and you don't want to have an audience of either of people that are going to be toxic to you. You don't want that. You don't want to get an audience by have people be overly sympathetic to you because you aren't able to not be like a sad boy all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, unless that's who you are, but I mean, like, because I say that loosely because I'm a sad boy for sure. But like
some days, you know, but not all days. Yeah.
Not all days. Yeah. You don't want to pander to everyone is I guess what I'm trying to say. Because I've seen people like say like, oh my gosh, like this is going wrong in my life. And that's all they post. Please come watch me on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like, okay. That's not something that's going to get somebody in there. And
that's rough, bro.
Keep their interest. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but
I think you're honestly, and this is just me from like an outside perspective, but I think you're answering it with how you're streaming.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. It's like I don't like to say I'm going to do something. Like I would rather just do it.
Yeah,
I had this mentality for a long time. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this, and then like kind of breaking that habit, just start doing something, and then getting the ball rolling, and then just having that go. Like that's what helped for me. But it's different for everyone too. So
agreed. You got to find what works for you. Yeah, and like I don't know. You found even without like the whole Twitter like aspect or social media presence, you're still finding success because you're still perpetuating the authenticity that is yourself online without the repercussions of like I'm a mental health advocate and like all this other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's oh man.
And I've had that like it's hard. Like I actually I'm not trying to turn the attention on me or suck my own dick, but like that's kind of where the talk show had started going for a while, was that like when I invited Kate on the show, she's like, why do you want to talk to me? You know, like I'm not a scientific person. Like I'm not very like super smart or anything. I mean, that's where these conversations started coming from. It's like, no, I don't give a shit about like what you have to bring to the table scientifically. Like the whole point of the show is to just be able to share your experiences and talk about them. And then like through the conversation, we get like really good anecdotes that maybe we didn't know about before, like your like social anxiety. And that's like a minor point in your life. It's not like a main thing, but it's like, oh, like you deal with that shit too. Like, so do I, you know, like it's, yeah, and there's some, and like another, I don't know why it started coming up, but it was like, I had somebody who was like, when I had rated them, they were like, oh, he's also like a mentally, like mental advocate streamer and like all that stuff. And I'm like, listen, I promote like a really awesome organization that has cures for PTSD, and you can come to me and talk about things, but like, I'm not a therapist, man. Like I'm not licensed to do that. And like, it's not that I don't want you to talk about those terrible things. Like I'm more than happy to pause the game and have a conversation, but I'm not gonna fucking go into this like cycle of giving advice and expecting you to say something back to me or come in with problems. Like I don't want that expectation, and it's really like debilitating, man. I don't want to be that like burden, that fucking beacon of light for anybody. Like I just want to be me, and people can understand, they can have an honest conversation, and then that's cool. But if like
I can barely make it through the day without crying, like what?
Yeah, how do you think I'm handling it?
Yeah, I don't know. It is very interesting, because I had a few people like that would come in, and then so I was like, you know, I just put an exclamation point help in chat. There's a command there with a bunch of other resources that you can go to, because that's not at all that's not my strong suit whatsoever. Is probably, I mean, I could be a good ear if you want to just complain and talk about shit, whatever. But if you want help, like that's not what I'm here for. I could not help you. Like I don't want to say something to you that could like be misconstrued as something else, and you act a certain way and something happens. I don't want that burden. I don't want anything like that. So I just try to avoid a lot of stuff. And if I do talk about this stuff, it's very me centric, because I'm a narcissist, and
we kind of all are. I mean, let's be honest.
but like when you're on stream, it should be you. It shouldn't be like, in my opinion, or if you're talking to somebody else, like it should be just those few people. It shouldn't be you taking on the whole of chat and trying to fix the problem, because there's no way that anybody could do that. Like it has to be, I don't know. It's very hard to get like meaningful conversation that way too.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I think like the only thing, the success, I guess, portion that I've had with it is just sharing my own experience and then just being like, listen, you know, like there are fucking resources out there. Like I did this.
Yeah.
You know, I did it this way, and maybe you sympathize, or maybe like you didn't know about like ADHD in the form that I knew about it, or like whatever it was, and this helped me. And they were like, wow, I didn't fucking know that you could get ADHD that way, or like, oh, your life is very similar to mine. Like I'm not alone in that respect, and that's enough sometimes for people.
Yeah,
but there's, like you said, you know, putting a help thing in your chat, or just turning people on the resources. Like the more important thing is just not being that fucking person. Like you cannot be a therapist on fucking stream. That's like,
it's not. That's a weird.
Isn't that? What do you think about that? Because I would love to hear your perspective. I have quite a few friends on the platform who,
in my opinion,
it's pandering.
That's pandering for views. Yeah, like how there's so many fucking people, and I've seen chats just like fucking flying, and they're like trying to like navigate everything going on in chat. I'm like, that's insanity. Like there's so much like you're not giving, like you could be speaking like true words at somebody, and like there could be realness behind what you're saying, but there's a lot of the time what you're PogChamp, but there's a lot of time what you're I don't know, there's a lot being left at the table there that you're not reaching a root of an issue, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I'll let you deal with this. Go ahead.
No. There's no sounds, okay. But Sampo, thank you.
No
Jesus. Yeah, I turned all the sounds off. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's like it's just there's no way to reach that many people in that short amount of time of what a maybe 4-hour stream, and then there's like 40-50 people in chat, and you're talking and you're trying to respond to everyone, and then I don't know, that's bananas to me. And like I just honestly, it feels disingenuous.
It does.
Like
yeah.
if you're working through something and that works for you, then talk about the way that works for you, but don't
blanket statement and like proclaim that this is like the cure all for like the situation or the matter of fact. I feel like, I mean, a lot of conversations that I end up seeing are more like this person comes with a problem, and then like instead of more questions being asked, it's just like, well, just do this. You know what I mean? Like this is what you should do, or is that you accepting this, or blah 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 blah. There's like, it's this really weird mixed bag of just like blanketed responses, even though they're responding to a specific person. It's almost like you've heard it a million times, or they've responded to something similar a billion different ways. And there's this like monotonous, uncaring way of handling it that just comes off inauthentic. And I agree. Sometimes it can come off as pandering. There are some people who do it really well, but they have smaller communities, and it's like, you can't fucking keep that up, dude. No way.
Yeah, as soon as like your chat's just like moving and somebody asks a new question, and you're like leaving somebody else, because naturally your attention's gonna kind of go back and forth, like in a non I don't know what the word is, in a non rude way. You're just kind of like,
well, you're looking for a discussion is what what you should be seeking, but it's not happening because you can't have that in chat, really.
You can't have a discussion with your chat, like, because it's going to be too much, unless, like you said, it's a small chat. But as soon as you start getting more people in your chat, you have to change your format.
Format's got to change.
The format, then I don't know, that seems very scary. And like a lot of that information could be spread that way, and I don't know. It's just,
it could be misconstrued. Like there's just a whole lot there. Like that's why I like having the conversation with you guys and having the focus like between me and you, and then chat is there, but like, you know, we'll have a section for people to ask questions, or for you to ask questions, or whatever. And like that's I want that to, the reason why I do it is because it's scalable. Like that's a scalable thing. You could do that at any fucking point. Like there's gonna, like, you can have a exclamation point, you know, question queue, you know, like going through a list of questions. If you want to ask, like they'll queue them up, you know, there's a way to do it, but it's like, I think you and me are on the same wavelength with this whole, like, I'm a mental health streamer and I want to talk about this stuff, and like
mental health.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a good way to get views quick, and like you're kind of like not really I don't know. You're missing the point there if you do when you usually do stuff like that too. Like
and I understand the passion behind it.
Yeah, there's a passion behind it, but I don't think everyone. I do think some people are genuinely passionate about it, and I think those people should keep going. And the ones who know that they're passionate about it will know, and they should keep doing it. But there's some that I see it, I'm just like, this is just obvious, like just begging for views and like the desperation, and you could smell it. And
a lot of it comes from like what you talked about earlier, was like not having time to like have friends or address like your issues. Like we're fucking working all the time, so we turn to the internet to like find these connections. And there's so much like mental health talk on everything that it's easy to get not stuck but like put into these communities, because you know, growing up, like we didn't fucking have mental health class or whatever. Like nobody talked about social media as a class. It was just like, figure it out, you fuck, like, and here's a phone that lets you tell the world you're fucked up, you know, like, and let's tweet about it all the time. Or that's also another thing that's really I have, that's the other issue that I have with like social media and like running the Twitch and Instagram stuff like that too, because I feel like I'm perpetuating a stereotype of that, like, I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to post something that like it's just like me being overly happy. I also want to post something that's me being sad, you know, like how do I, and then I don't want to be neutral because that just makes me come off as a weirdo. Like I am here, like that's just weird. Like nobody cares. I mean, it's strange, and so it's hard to like for me to address and like come up with something like that and be like genuinely happy. And I don't know, for me it's just weird. I don't want to make somebody feel bad, and I know that's not how I should feel either, but I don't want to make somebody feel bad because I'm having a good time and they feel like they have to live up to the same like level of life or comfort that I have or something like that. Well, that's an important feature to have, because like we know what it's like to be told everything's fine all the time when really it's not, because like that's where I mean, in my opinion, that's where like our anxiety comes from. That's where like I mean, that's where a lot of my anxiety and anger and like all the things that made me an angsty metal boy, just like yourself, you know, like those feelings bubble up because we've been withholding them this entire time. And especially as like masculinity is like a whole nother topic that we won't really dive into, but like you know, being a boy growing up was like pick your shit up and fucking quit being a pussy and move the fuck on. And so that mentality is like always a part of us. And
bottle your feelings, damn it. Don't let them show. Bitch, you shut your fucking mouth. Are those tears? You shut the fuck up. Swallow those tears.
Swallow those tears.
And then you're just like,
I'm not a pussy.
Mama raised the pimp. And then you're like, I don't know. It's just, you're right though. And then like you have to like, I don't know what the fucking answers are, and I'm not even gonna fucking.
Well, that's the important thing, is like we need to admit that. You know what I mean? Like, eat those tears.
Tears.
I fucking love that. That's so good. Mama raised a pimp. Etwurt 2019. But yeah, it really is like. I mean, I think like the admittance of not knowing is something that isn't on Twitch at all, and like that's honestly. Yeah, it's nobody's like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know where that is. I don't have the experience in it. Like, the confidence in not knowing. Like, there's a lot of people on Twitch where, like, if you were to ask a question that they weren't, like, they didn't know about, you know what I mean? Like, if you were like, do you know what ghost organs are? They'd be like, yeah, I think I've heard of that. Can you remind me? You know what I mean? Like we all know those fucking people. We've been to parties with those people. They suck. Nobody wants to hang out with them, and
actually, like, oh god, the actually people really
fuck those people.
Actually, what you're saying is technically wrong because it's like, oh, okay, bud, I get it. Like, I don't want to talk to you still. Maybe want to talk to you.
I'm sorry, I opened my fucking mouth. God damn it. Okay, we get it. You know more than me.
Yeah, you get it. You're fucking smart.
But that's the whole like social media climate right now. To me, is like that's why I came up with the whole like Lisa Simpson fucking meme, because I just hate generalized positivity and horoscopic advice and like all these people.
It's just
it's just toxic. It really is toxic, because what it breeds is more people who think that, you know, because they're partnered or whatever and they're successful, when they tweet that stuff, they think that what's going to happen is that they're going to get a lot of attention for it, and then more people will come in because you said this positive thing. But really what we're seeing, and it's just like those tweets that we saw like earlier in the year where it was like, post your favorite streamers links in the comments, like and retweet, and then I will try to stop by 1 million people's channels this week. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not happening, one, and two, like, this is not for you, like, them. It's clearly just for you to like garner attention, and then it turns into a big, you know, metaphorical dick sucking contest where everybody's getting more generalized. And like, I'm not saying the intention isn't good, because it's obviously it's still positive, right? But it's
like, nobody could live.
It's watered down positivity. It's not specific. There's nothing in there that you can pull. Yes,
it's unrealistic too. It's like, you can't live up to that standard of being if you're having a bad day, put a smile on. Like, no, that doesn't. Nobody, like, if you're having a bad day, it's okay to have a bad day
and talk about it. You know,
and talk about it and feel sad and like have emotions other than that's just like. Other than like happiness and like, oh yeah, everything's fucking great, like that's okay,
right?
Like, you can go a long time before you feel happy again. Like, if you can, like, circumstances, everything has circumstances, everything should have context. It shouldn't be just, oh, you're sad, oh, your girlfriend left you, well, that sucks, you should be happy. It's just like, okay, thanks, I appreciate it.
Don't stop, just keep going. I hate those fucking memes. Like, there's so many I love those. Sorry, I don't love these videos, but I do like, every once in a while, a video surfaces of a person who quits streaming, and they make it like a big dramatic like video that's like 2.5 minutes about their story of how they were streaming and like how long they'd been streaming for and like all this other shit. And very rarely is somebody asking the question like, why did you quit, and what were the ingredients to you quitting? And like, oh, I streamed for 2.5 years to like 3 or 4 people. I'm like, well, you should have quit like fucking 6 months into it. You know what I mean? Like, there's numbers telling you that you're doing something wrong, and maybe you should readdress what you're doing. What's behind that? Because there's 500,000 people on the platform that are affiliated.
Yeah, and if you can't find somebody with more than 3 people to like mine, then you're either not looking hard enough, or there's a lot of things that can go into that. There's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of things wrong with that. For 2.5 years, only 3 people in there.
Yeah, I would say nobody told this.
It's a very sad person.
Right. Well, that's why they quit. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen those videos are really depressing, because it's one of two things. One, they probably listen to that generalized advice where it's like, don't stop, just stream every day, like all that other shit. You'll get it if you work hard enough, the grind, all that other shit. And the reality is, if your content's not good, nobody's gonna watch you. And it's very hard for people to hear that for some reason, because we're in this like, again, like the generalized positivity, I think, comes a lot from the whole like, you get a trophy regardless of what you're doing.
Yeah, the celebrating mediocrity. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you did the thing that literally everybody else does. Congrats. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't. Like, there's still. My kid took a shit in the toilet, and we were fucking ecstatic, right?
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I'm super hyped about it. But I don't want her to go into the real world and think like, hey, you're gonna go take a shit in the toilet at school. Nobody's gonna be like, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna give a shit out there. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that like I want to instill in her at some point. But I mean, you a lot of people have these expectations because they've been fed that, but they were never told that that's everybody else does that too. You know, like, and it's. Just because you did one, like, okay, you got affiliate, that's great and all, but that's still, and if that was your end goal, then fucking congrats, you know, you did it. But if not, and you want to keep going further, then you're gonna have to keep this reassessment up going. It's gonna be constant, and you're not gonna want to think that you're the perfect person. If
you have to constantly be evolving and changing, because you can't changing. Yeah. As soon as you get into the rhythm of being, that's where your success stops.
Yeah, and then nobody's gonna care anymore. Even if you have like dips, assess your dip and realize what you did wrong, and then like, how can you get those viewers back or get new viewers because of it? Because apparently your content wasn't something that somebody wanted to see or hear or whatever.
Right. Or you
And
did
then
something in
like,
stream. Like it gives you a fucking
Yeah.
hour by hour breakdown. So you could be like,
yeah.
why? Okay, we dipped 10 fucking people. What happened here? And you click and you're like, oh shit, I guess I was a little fucked up there.
Maybe crying in the bathtub wasn't a good idea.
I love that. I love that fucking clip, bro.
Oh man, funny story about that. I had me and Terry got into a bit of an argument about that because I was like, no, the camera has to be here.
For aesthetic purposes, this is my vision.
It's exactly what it was. It was like, this is my vision. I need it to work out the way I wanted to. And like, it was really funny. And like afterwards, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I don't know why I was like that. Like, you're just trying to help.
It's my art. Yeah.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. I don't know.
There's a little bit of ego though when it comes down to like your vision and like how you want things to look, especially when it has to do with like this, because the stream at a certain point, and I would agree, I think you would agree, the stream is an extension of yourself at this point. So like,
for sure.
If anybody fucks with that, it's like actually fucking with your physicality.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you?
Yeah,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead. I was gonna say you're right, but go ahead.
I was gonna actually ask you this question. I like asking this question because a lot of people don't. I don't know how familiar people are with it, and it does. Human behavior is absolutely fascinating to me. So like knowing the ingredients as to like what makes human behavior happen, like whether it's negative or positive, is one of the things that like I've really delved deep into, because with ADHD and like my negative behaviors, I wanted to figure out where they came from and like all this other stuff. And during that journey, I had found essentially this, it's called the backfire effect. And it was like an oatmeal article, but it's a scientific explanation as to why people get upset when their ideas are questioned or like their ideologies are questioned. Do you know about that?
No idea. Never heard of it.
So
it sounds interesting though.
It is. It's extremely interesting because I didn't know this is how like our brains were wired. So when you,
let me hold on.
Go ahead. Yeah. Try to make a guess.
A hypothesis. Is it because you see it as an extension of yourself? Like you identify yourself as such, like say as an artist, you would identify yourself as your art. You see that as you. So if somebody says, hey, your art fucking sucks, you're taking that as, hey, you fucking suck. Like that's the way you hear it, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
but it goes actually a layer deeper than that. So
okay,
the ideologies, once they get so ingrained in like your personality and your identity, they actually attach themselves to the same part of the brain that gets that goes off when you're physically attacked.
Oh, that's wild. That is wild.
That's why some people are like, yes. Yeah. That's why people are so fucking crazed when they're questioned or whatever it is. That same part of your brain that tells you if you're being physically attacked goes off when you are when you are questioned, your ideologies are questioned.
Yeah.
It's what, like, some people would either take it as like they're being physically attacked and they respond violently.
A form of aggression.
Right. A form of aggression. They would respond violently, or sometimes like they'll have like a fucking panic attack because they don't know their identity isn't shaken. Bullish, you can look it up. It's just called the backfire effect. It's a really interesting scientific study that they had conducted, and they did an MRI scan when they like questioned these people. Super cool.
That's pretty crazy. I'd never thought of it that way, but I guess it is true.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like when somebody like critiques my work, I cry and I feel like I've been punched in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I don't literally cry, but I mean,
no.
like, mentally, I'm like,
yeah, but there's like there's a deeper thing in
and
there.
Then there's like some, like you physically feel sometimes ill. Yeah, and that's pretty wild. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and the reason why, like, and Dan Kuv asked a really good question. So how do you isolate that and make changes, though? So the important thing is knowing about it. That's like the number one thing is knowing about the behavior, so that when you're like, when that's starting to happen to you, or you're going into a panic attack or like getting mad about it, like really stop for a second, take a breath, and like really think about what's going on right now. And it helps a lot. I mean, you'll probably like the next time you're like getting your art questioned or whatever it is, or like you're really hating on yourself, you'll probably think of that in some capacity, and it won't be as terrible maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily. I mean, I do sometimes if it's something I really worked on and then I can kind of know it's kind of shit. When somebody else says it's shit, I'm like,
All right.
Apple.
I knew it was kind of shit, but thanks.
I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
But fuck you, Dad. But yeah, that's pretty eye-opening. I don't know. I'll have to keep that in mind next time I hear something, or I don't know. That's super interesting.
Yeah, I always find it again, like it's just something that's always been after learning about it, I just can't help but like think of that whenever I see anything that can be taken negatively from somebody reacting a certain way. And it's just like,
yeah,
it's especially helpful with like my relationship with my parents, because like I can't have a conversation with my mom at certain points, and it's what I mean is like it just turns into this like I'm right and you're wrong sort of thing, and then I literally have to hang up and then call back, and it's like completely fucking different. So it's it's really weird. Like I guess I used that knowledge to like have a better relationship with my parents, but you can use that in like more than one situation, you know, depending on the context.
Relationship with parents.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Dude, tell me about it.
Like, I remember one time you briefly mentioned it, but I know like
you can ask if you want. It's totally fine.
Well, I remember you had mentioned it, and I think somebody's stream, maybe it was Filters, I guess doesn't really matter, but like I remember you saying something like how you had just recently like started rebuilding that relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's been pretty like how did you do that? Because I have a mom who's very like eccentric and very
a strong woman.
Yeah, but also very but politically ill in some ways.
Okay.
And so like that's very hard for me to deal with, and I don't know how, like for me it's just like getting to the point where I'm so frustrated all the time, like because sometimes it's great, like, and it's fine, but then when she flips, she'll change, and sometimes I'm like, oh shit, this is not what I signed up for. The next time she'll call me the next day, like nothing happened. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like I don't know how to deal with that. Like, and that for me is just like I don't want to be an asshole son who doesn't let her see her granddaughter or grandkids or whatever.
Right.
And I also don't want to be like a fucking doormat. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Because you're a fucking adult and you have a fucking family and a job, and like you're doing your own shit.
Exactly. And it's so hard for me to balance it is so hard. Like I don't even know how I've gotten this far in life without having a proper mental breakdown has been like, it could be its own fucking article itself. Like it's a mess. That whole thing. So I'm just curious how like you've been able to do that.
Yeah. So I'm still working on it. It's not like I'm finished. It's something that like just to preface this, like I grew up in I was verbally abused essentially like my entire life. And for me, it obviously like trauma affects people differently. For me, the way it affected me was I developed ADHD through that abuse and like stress in the household. And so like I have these negative behaviors and like there's a whole like ingredient list there. But a lot of the stuff that I exhibit as negative behaviors, my parents and my aunts and uncles exhibit because of what they've been through. And what really helped me was not only understanding my own behaviors, but understanding my own behaviors helped explain what their behaviors were from. And a lot of it had to do with just having conversations about them growing up and how they grew up with the context of understanding how those behaviors manifest themselves from the negative experiences they had. And like it was actually really tough like going back and doing that stuff because I don't remember a whole lot about my childhood, which is like a key fucking traumatic like indicator. And after going back through all this stuff, like I found a lot of really great moments and I unpacked some bad stuff. And essentially what it came down to is understanding that the person that I'm talking to when they're in, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you directly, guys. You too, Etwurt. It's just like it's easier for me to concentrate when I'm like using my hands. Yeah,
I'm the same way.
Yeah, but it's easier to have the conversations with them with the context of understanding what the negative behavior is coming from, so that I know that they're not them right there. They're responding to stress improperly, because again, like, I mean, we grew up in this amazing era with the internet and all this other stuff, and like they grew up in the era where that wasn't even a fucking thing, and I mean, my parents, both of them were like physically abused growing up, and like my mom went through like an extremely fucking hellish situation with like one of her brothers dying, and like how that affected the family and all this stuff. So when I see this person who's like refusing to listen to me, because I have the same situation where like I'll get in an argument and then I'm like, you're not listening to me, and then it turns into like, you're not listening to me, and then there's just this back and forth with nonsensical. Yeah. We're not getting anywhere. It's just fucking circle over circle. I'm like, I'm gonna call you back right now. We need to like take a moment, and I'll call you back, and it's like fucking nothing happened. And what it used to do was piss me off, because it's like, be fucking consistent and also talk to me like I'm a goddamn adult. You know what I mean? Like I have my own place. I'm getting married. Like I'm thinking about having kids and shit. And like my entire life has been like, I don't know if I can do this family thing and have my mom involved in that situation, because she fucked me up. And I was like blaming her for that. Yeah. And so a lot of it had to do with therapy and like seeking forgiveness within that, forgiving myself for all the negative behaviors that I had. And then it's a slow process, man, but like essentially what I'm trying to do as best as I can is, in those situations where I can spend time with one-on-one with my parents, I'm getting to know them more and more as they grew up, so that I can understand where their behaviors are coming from. And then like those moments where like it's too hard for me to have a conversation with them, I, respectfully step away and I come back after a few minutes, and it's just like, listen, we just need a few minutes, and like that's all we need to do. And like the key turning point for that for me was when I was able to separate the behavior out from the person, because it's a switch. Okay. Like sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I see what you're saying. Like I understand it, but I feel like for me it's like I'm an adult now, and I know better. I know that some things aren't okay, like there's lines and boundaries you don't cross. Right. But it's also like, how come, for me, I'm just like, it doesn't make it like, for me, that's like, I understand my mom's past, and I understand like all that stuff, and we both have, she's definitely had probably a worse upbringing than me, but like I've had a pretty rough one too. But it doesn't justify the behavior, and that's the thing that's like, as I get older, I'm just like, I get like, it doesn't, to me, for me at least, and I don't know how, I think that's just what it is. I'm just like I don't know, I'm just like tired and burned out on it, and I don't know how to come back to it with a fresh and I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm not asking either, I'm just
of course,
but like I don't know if that's right or wrong, and it's just like I have like this weird like back and forth in my head, like maybe I should talk to her again, maybe I shouldn't, because she's gonna be an asshole. It's just, but to me, like I feel like that's true for everyone. It doesn't matter like what the circumstances were. Like you don't get to be an asshole to everyone, right, and then expect like nothing happened like a couple days later. It's just like that gets old and like tiring and exhausting for everyone, right? And like especially when you're trying to be like and I like I said, I understand like a lot of the things that she says, and a lot of things where she's coming from. It's just like overall I'm just getting so burned out, and I'm like riding on fumes. I'm just like, this relationship is just not something that I can keep up much longer. Like it's literally like it's fucking killing me. Like,
well, the toughest part about this, like, and I'm still dealing with it. I still default sometimes to like that defensive behavior. I'm not perfect, man. Like I can't sometimes, and this happens like regardless of the scenario. Like I have an aversion to people yelling near me because of like me growing up, and so like Leia, she's I love her to death, you know what I mean? And there's sometimes where she's just fucking loud, and like there's this my default mental pathway growing up would be like, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? Like it's just that's my default mental pathway. It's been like that forever. And so I've been diverting that more and more with the help of like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, fucking CBD helps a great deal because it relaxes me a bit, and that whole like anxiety of about like a loud noise and shit is just like, Leia, please not near me, you know, like it's just there's this thing there. And especially with your parents, like for me, I can talk about like all I'm doing all day about how I'd like to have a relationship with my parents and like my mom especially. But I can't, when I'm in the situation and the environment, like there always will be that chance that I just default to that fucking fight mode because now I'm old enough to fight it. You know what I mean? I was running away a majority of my life, and like I'm sick. I was sick of it, and I wanted to fight it, and I did it through my teenage years, and I did it through college. I did it. I've been so tired of fighting,
and the lack of control at those ages. It's a mess, and like it's just. I tell everyone like being a teenager is probably like one of the hardest things you could do in life.
Yes.
Like, and if you say it's easy, there might be something wrong there. Like,
well, I mean,
if you're like.
Sorry.
If you think back and people think that like that was the best time of my life, like there might be something wrong with that.
Like
I misspoke. That's what I meant to say.
You're good.
Like, because this should be better. Like this should be. You should have control of your life. You don't have anybody telling you what to do, and you should have like I don't know, a clear outlook and a clear way. And I don't know. I think me finally recently feeling like I've accomplished something in my life in the past few years. Like I feel this way, and I've been not living at home for like 20 years. I finally feel like now I'm just like that was the final stepping stone of me moving out mentally. I don't know, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. Like it's not my issue. Like a lot of the there's so much like to unpack there. I won't even get into
course,
it. A lot of the things that would happen was that my sister and my mom would argue, and that was the only time my mom would talk to me. And now that like they've had like a falling out again, it's like
now you're back in the picture. You're being used for emotional
focus.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, that's just like, why even have me around? Like, I don't.
Well, you need to understand like the environment that we're in right now, like what we had access to, and I understand like you don't get a pass for being an asshole. That's a really good mentality to have. But like if they're unaware of what they're doing because of their focus being so egotistical and so so inward that they're not inward, so selfishly outward that they only understand their perspective and how things affect them. They haven't had their ego questioned before, and they've never had, you know, I mean, you and me grew up through fucking metal band phases. We did drugs, and like we had our ego questioned through that stuff, and we fucking had terrible shows. We've gotten broken up with, like we've made stupid ass decisions. You know, there's these things that are in place that they didn't have growing up because they were fucking working and got pregnant early and like all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like there's this identity that they associate themselves with, and like they clasp onto it because it's all they have. And you know, sometimes like that stubbornness pushes everybody away without them even knowing it. Like my mom is, you know, a fucking staple of that, or not staple, it's not the right word, but like a fucking
poster child of stubbornness.
Poster child of stubbornness. She digs her heels in, and she's right and you're wrong, and then like the only time it's ever okay is like if we're in a relaxed environment and having a discussion. But you can't, it's not easy, you know, like it's, again, like I'm in a nice situation where like my mom loves me very dearly, and I've had open conversations with her about like growing up and all that. So she was very understanding and unique, but not everybody's going to be like that, man. And you know, like I understand like why you would want to, there's like this want to repair the relationship, or at least have a relationship with her because you grew up with her and like she raised you, you know, you're here for a fucking reason, you know what I mean? But that doesn't entitle you to respect or anything like that because of you giving birth. And if you treated me a certain way my entire life, like it's going to be hard for me to like curb that thing. But dude, again, like, I mean, a lot of it has to do with just spending time. Like, imagine how lonely that shit is. Like, she can't be a fucking, I don't know. A lot of it's just, I can't really say. Like, my switch for that started because, like, I knew that I wanted a better relationship with my mom. And in order to do that, I had to learn more about myself because I couldn't approach my mom without feelings of resentment and hate. And like when I say hate, I mean I really do mean hate. Like I really like was gonna, as soon as I like got out of the house, like I spent 6 months by myself. I didn't talk to fucking anybody. I didn't talk to my dad. I didn't talk to my mom. My sister texted me sometimes. My mom texted me sometimes. Read her messages and like just ignore her. And like it was just like it was quiet for the first time in my entire life. And I didn't know what to do with myself. So I focused on working inward myself, And then like, dude, over the past 2 years is when all this like fucking human behavior and conversations and discussions started happening in therapy. And it's never too late for sure, but like, you know, your mom has to be willing to go against the default mental pathway of like thinking for herself and shit. I mean, it could be just like spending time with you and talking about how she grew up and stuff. And like, I don't know, it can be small anecdotal stuff, but again, it's difficult. You can be empathetic if they're unwilling to change or get better. Like, you can't do anything about that. And the only thing you can do is, you know, have a kind of relationship with your mom and value the relationships you have and the ones you've made that made you stronger. And that's totally fine too, man.
Yeah, I think I know, like, I know you're right, but like, there's no but there, but I just know you're right. And it's so hard to accept certain things for me, like as I don't know, because like I don't know, we can go around this forever, but I always had like this certain idea of a way it could have turned out. And I feel like the more I put time into it, the less it's turning out like that. I mean, it kind of is better. We're in a good moment now, but I know for sure, like I can almost guarantee it with the next month or two, something's gonna like tick and it's just everything's gonna fall apart again. I'm like, oh great, here we go again. And now I'm like feeling shitty inside because I feel like I did something wrong. But you're not wrong. Like, you have to, at some point I have to accept it, that this is probably sometimes that's as good as you can get it, and accept it when it's good, and like when it's bad, you know, maybe take a break away from it and come back again.
Because you're in control, man. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this whole situation is like, if you ever feel like the situation is not beneficial to you or the person involved, like, you could step away. Hanging up on them is fine. Like, you can do whatever you need to. Like, I've hung up like anytime I've ever been in a fight, it's just like, okay, I'm calling you, like, don't you hang up on me, and like, I hung up, you know, like, I'm gonna call you back in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, it's not like I'm saying goodbye forever. I'm literally hanging up for like 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna talk again. I just need you to understand that right now you're not listening, and we're not talking. It's not a conversation. This is not how you talk to me anymore, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's how you maintain, I guess that's how I learned how the control aspect is. Because like, anytime you deal with anybody who wants a lot of control in especially like asserting their dominance on people, like my mom and probably your mom do, and many of the people who's got, you know, parents like that in chat. It's when you're in control of the situation, like, you can disconnect digitally, whatever it is that you need to do. Yeah, that is you are removing control from the situation for them, and then you can touch base with them later or whatever, man. It's you're free to do it. I think like that's maybe a lot of it. And I think this is maybe like an opportunity for you to like really dive into it when you choose to, whatever it is. Like, an unbiased like therapy session is probably like the best thing that I've ever had in my entire life. Because it's just like, they just listen, and then it's an unbiased response of like, well, I mean, you've told me you feel this way, blah, 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 blah. And then like, you've also explained like, this is their past. It sounds like you have this sort of dynamic relationship, and that's fine. It's like, it's kind of relieving to have somebody tell you that has no investment in the situation, that, you know, like, this is what they think is going on. And maybe it doesn't explain things entirely, but it gives you sort of like a blueprint for how you're reacting. Because like, if you're anything like me, you get defensive immediately around like the person you're uncomfortable with. And so the default, like mine was attack, you know, yours could be the same thing. It's like, it's just, I'm not going to fucking talk to you right now. And then swearing and getting loud and all this sort of shit happens.
I mean, yeah.
That's what we got, guys. But dude, thanks for opening up about that. I mean, I really do.
Oh, of course.
It means a lot.
I mean, I talk about this stuff pretty openly on stream, but like, I don't know. It's different when you talk to somebody one-on-one as opposed to like your chat, like telling you you're right about everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of different. It's different. It's nice to have the dialogue as opposed to being like, I don't know, the echo chamber.
Yeah, and we started with like music and social media, man. Like, that's why I love these conversations, because naturally they deviate. It just depends on like what's going on in your brain right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we've been talking for like what, 2 hours now?
2 hours?
Yeah, it's been like an hour 50 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
It's 7:30. What the hell?
Dude, time flies when you're having fun, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you guys have any questions for us or Etwurt, or While we're waiting for questions too, do you, Edward, do you have anything else that you wanted to ask?
Not really.
Cool.
I don't think so. I just came in here just to chit chat.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you came on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I hope to do this again.
Hell yeah,
sometime in the future. It's fun.
Yeah, I only do the show like 3 times, or I only do stream 3 times a week. So, the hard part is like how many days can I like get in there? And now I'm like, it sounds weird, but like now I'm in the momentum of like I don't even want to fucking play games. I just want to talk to my friends, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same. That's why I'm so like conflicted about like what I want to stream next. Is like because I don't want to. I just want to talk. I just want to hang out. Like I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
I just want to goof around and I don't know.
Yeah.
Have a good time and not have to focus on something over here and not give all my attention to the people that are there to hang out too. You know. I don't know.
I was like, I want to do like a mix of other things too. That's why I always thought like this format's really nice, you know, for like getting to know people. But like I don't know, you could do like doing a show where like people are both playing a game together and talking about like what they're doing or whatever would be really cool. I don't know how that would work, but
I had an idea for a stream for like 1-minute interviews and like interviewing chat for like 1 minute.
Oh.
And, like having them come up on Discord and like ask them quick questions and something they want to talk about. And then once the timer's up, just like no matter how serious the question is, just like, all right, bye.
Yeah.
At the end of the minute, get somebody else on and ask and have like another like quick little dialogue for like, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes of a stream. That'd be really fun, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
A fun idea.
I like that. Duck Norris, like first question. Would you rather have feet for hands or hands for feet?
Hands for feet, easily. You can pick up more stuff with your feet.
Yeah, I want to be like a chimp, man. That'd be fucking dope.
Yeah, peel bananas with your feet. That'd be rad.
You would walk kind of weird, wouldn't you?
Maybe not. You have to be more careful because you don't want to break your fingers.
Yeah.
I think your toes are like meant
Well, they'd probably be really strong. You know what I mean? Like if you had hands for feet your whole life, you'd be like fucking grip strength.
You know people that walk on their toes?
Yeah.
You could walk on your fingers and they have like super strong like grip on your hands. You could like swing upside
Yeah, you
down.
could do push-ups with just your legs, right?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking wild.
Yeah, feet for hands would be gross.
Feet hands are terrifying.
Yeah.
Also,
like,
welcome in
imagine,
everybody.
Like, getting food out from between your teeth.
Oh yeah, dude. Just
that
like
sounds gross. Yeah, I'd rather have hands for feet.
Fuck.
Then I could use my feet hands to get the food out of my mouth. Hell yeah.
There you go.
That's big brain.
How did you guys suppress or move past the memories and experiences with your moms to achieve unconditional love? I struggle to appreciate my mom outside of the fact that she's putting me through college. That's dude. I didn't move past that. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
yeah.
Mine's conditional love. Like,
it's. I think all relationships are conditional. I don't think there's any point. I think a lot of times you like to say like,
well, your child's unconditional, right?
Yeah, I think your kids are different, and maybe your pets are different.
Right.
But like, otherwise, I think every other relationship you have, as a kid to a parent, I think it's easier to say like, it's conditional. But as a parent to a child, like it's impossible. Well, at least for me. Because I'm a good parent. No, but for a lot of parents, it's true. Like it's like for me, it's like I can't even explain it. Like as soon as she was here, it's like unfathomable for me to think that like I would wish anything ill of her. Like I don't want anything bad to fall upon her.
You even saying
and, like,
that makes me feel bad, and I feel like you do too. Like you even
weird.
being like, is it weird to think about like bad things that could happen to my kid? Like that's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, like it's a weird feeling. I can't even describe it. It's just like
it's DNA level shit, dude.
Yeah, it's a physical thing, and I can't describe it. It's just like I can't not love you. I don't know. It's really weird. Wait till she's 13. I mean, yeah, there's that too. She starts dating boys and. Like, get the fuck out already.
And you're choking people out in the fucking driveway and shit.
Yeah. Oh man.
But Zader, yeah, just to like answer your question, it's not unconditional love. Like I don't think especially, and I know you've opened up a little bit about your relationship with your parents, especially your mom, and like it's very hard to get through that point because like I mean my mom definitely like tries to buy me love to a certain regard. Like it's just I mean, you're going to have that sort of perspective the whole time. Having a relationship, though, like, that's entirely a different thing. That's something that I feel like a lot of people can move past depending on, you know, how they grew up in the situations. And obviously there's varying degrees there. Yeah. You can ask about penises for hands, Alf. Would you want penises for hands? I say no.
Well, I've heard this question before. The question is, what would penises for hands look like? Would you have penises coming out of your wrists, or would they be like individual fingers?
Yeah, digits. I'm thinking.
Yeah, digits. Yeah, I don't know. I would think if it's hands, it would be they come out of your wrists, and you have like big dongers.
And also, your fingers would be ultra sensitive.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like temperature differences, you'd be like, they'd shrink up and shit. You drop like plates and fucking bottles and stuff.
Oh,
like, throw me a beer, you're like, ah! Koozie, everything.
Imagine seeing a girl that you think is cute, like out in public.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man, and you
can't fucking bend your fingers and shit.
Get hard.
Yeah.
Oh man, can't hide that one.
No
I
dice.
don't even like her, babe. It's like, I saw you.
Liar!
Yeah. Can feel your hands.
I'm living with my parents now at 28, and it's really tough to be the adult I want to be. Yeah, Kat. I mean, you are living with your parents at like past 22 is fucking tough, bro.
Yeah.
That's like you're an adult. I mean, you can go to war, you know, like. Like, you could do that at 18 and shit, that's no respect. They will always see you as their kid, man.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that I think should be taken into account too, is that you'll always be seen as a child,
right?
Like, no matter what. Like, I don't know, but whatever.
Balls or no balls? No balls. It'd just be penises. Balls would be detrimental, like, or terrible.
Yeah,
I mean.
you'd have to be super careful. You have to wear a cup around your wrists.
Yeah. But don't take you seriously. Alf, you're talking about penises for fingers, and you're in the chat with two people. I got fucking dong in my name, bro. Like, a single large penis hands, like two fucking penis. That's way funnier to me than digits. Just like fucking okay, all right.
Imagine
would you like
a fight? Oh
no, dude.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. Ow!
Oh my god. Punching somebody in the mouth would bring whole new meaning.
Yeah, you smooch him.
Man. Yeah.
Konky's response to get out of your parents' house is go to war. No, that is not my fucking response. I'm just saying, like, it's hard to be taken seriously as an adult. I'm 26 in July, and I moved back to my home with my mom. Riley, I hope that's working out. You seem pretty happy. Question, why is it so hard to be honest with your parents as a kid? I used to lie about the dumbest stuff as a kid, like I knew I was caught, but I'd lie anyways. I can't answer this question. Etwurt, do you know, or do you want to answer that?
I don't know. I mess with Terry all the time. I lie about stupid shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's like that's like fucking trolling, you know. That's like for like it's obvious that you're lying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, did you do this? I'm like, yeah, and then like she'll think I did it for like a week and I didn't do it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I really lied to my mom that much when I was a kid. I don't think I really, especially when I was younger. A little kid, I definitely didn't lie.
I was a fucking class clown, man. I got in trouble a lot. So like I saw how my mom reacted when things were bad. So like I lied about everything, and it went into my fucking 20s up until I don't even know. It stopped sometime after 22. Just because I don't know, I just didn't want to get in trouble. I still do it sometimes, like now, it's just like inadvertent. If I'm in like a stressful situation where like Leia asked me if I did something, I'm like, yeah, and she's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, fuck. I didn't. I don't know why I lied.
like it's stupid. Like, did you check out the trash? I'm like, yeah, totally. The trash is overflowing in the kitchen. Like, yeah, I took out the trash. And then she won't go check. I'm like, I got out of it this time. And then like she'll go check later in the day and I have to like take out the trash, but whatever. I don't know. It's just dumb shit.
I got in trouble one time for starting a food fight of 450 children. That's fucking badass, bro. I've never seen an actual food fight, like a real one. Have you?
Flip quick. A food fight? Not
like an actual one, like a real one.
No, not a real. Well, no. I've heard of them, but they've always been like a myth to me. So I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Same. I got in trouble a lot, so I lied about stuff she literally saw me do, so I wouldn't get in trouble. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Christina told Lulz Nina is my sister.
Yeah.
So I got caught smoking weed growing up, and my sister told the truth all the time. I lied all the time. So I had like this oh, Chief, welcome in. So I had this anytime I was questioned, it was like, well, I can't believe you because you've lied to me before perspective. And so she caught like, she found all my stuff, my smokables, all that fun stuff. And she's like, this is yours, blah, blah, blah. And then like Christina, who had been smoking weed way longer than me, she goes to my mom, she goes, I smoke weed too. And she said it exactly like that. And my mom looked at her without even fucking batting an eye, and she goes, no, you fucking didn't. And then goes back to like berating me. That was a good story.
No, you fucking did.
No, you fucking did.
Oh man.
Chief,
great.
welcome in, dude. We're actually near the end of the talk show, man.
Yeah.
We've been going for a bit. We're actually gonna raid people, but welcome in, guys. I'll play the fucking intro for you guys here. Think about questions to ask us.
So how do you pick who's gonna be on next? Can they hear us right now?
Yeah.
Oh. Because I think I have a great person who I would nominate to go on next.
Ooh, I want to hear about it.
Fultor. I feel like Fultor would be great for this. He's
Fultor?
a great talker. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Great talker. Really.
He is a really good
interesting
talker. Yeah.
person. Yeah, a really interesting person. So I don't know. That's just if he'd be down. Oh baby. I think that would be fun to watch. I'd love to watch that. His old man experiences.
The old man experiences, I'm down.
Hours.
Dude, no, I actually, it was really great. You know what was really strange to me? Like, and I guess I haven't talked about this enough really, but Fultor fucking is like a huge fan of mine. Like, is what he told me. And like, when he told me that, I didn't fucking, I was just like blank face. I was just like, what? Like, I don't know what you're fucking,
weird.
why?
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know, dude.
People watching me right now, it blows my mind sometimes that people actually watch me.
Yes.
I'm over here talking about like, I don't even know, eating ass mostly. Like that's like 90% of my content, and it's just like everybody comes like, oh, this is great. I fucking love this. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's just I don't know. Again, like it's one of those things where like you and me talked about this briefly at TwitchCon, and we won't go back into it because we'll talk for another fucking 2 hours. But but like there's these people that you just gravitate towards, and it's because they have everybody, like that phrase that I said, the you are me living a different life. Like I sincerely believe that, and I see the like personality traits that I align with a great deal within you, within Megals, Fultor, Sampo. Like I see myself in a lot of people. I know it sounds kind of selfish, but the idea is that
no, I get what you mean. Like I remember you saying that like Megals hits your like gothy weeby side, and like
yeah,
I'm like your weird side. I totally see that. Like I see that in a lot of people too. Like I like Fultor because he's usually pretty sensible, and I like watching sensible people and listening to things that they have to say.
Yes.
And then you, because you're very much like, you sparked my scientific brain a lot, and so when you say like you talk about things that I'm super interested in, and sometimes things I don't even know what I'm interested in, and Moomin, I like watching Moomin because he's weird, like drinking milk on stream. Like I don't know, it's interesting to me for some reason. I don't know. I just like it. I don't know.
Christina is me, but better. Yeah, she's a better version of me on every aspect. Oh God. But yeah, so I guess future episodes. So I've got next week. I've got is it Drew next week?
Oh hell yeah, I want to see that.
I've got Poppy, Rotten Poppy lined up for the second week of April, and then I'm pretty sure I have Drew next week. I have to double check. I may not have booked anybody because I'm going to California at the end of the week for Overwatch League.
Where's
in Burbank?
We might have to hang out. We might have to hang out.
Fuck yeah, dude. You got my number.
All right. Hell yeah.
Sickness.
But yeah, I love Rotten Poppy and I love Drew. I'm excited for those.
Yeah. Poppy is like one of those fucking really great people who's like just my favorite thing about like her stream and what really piqued my interest is she's an amazing conversationalist, but I can tell that she doesn't know which direction she wants to go with like how the stream is constructed, and like her podcast is super fucking strong, like all this stuff, and like her voices are amazing. Like I love hearing all these different voices and shit, but you can tell there's like she's still trying to figure out exactly like what's the thing that allows me to be me without having to like be a person or like an identity on Twitch, and it's really interesting to watch. And she's fucking she is hilarious.
Yeah, I see that a lot in her. You're absolutely right. I'm excited to see where it's going to turn, because I think like this year a lot of people are like kind of figuring it out, that they've watched grow over time, and I'm super excited to see where she takes it. Like I really am very interested in her streams. I don't know.
It's going to be great. Awesome. She's one of those people. It's just like watching Megals come out of her shell. It's like you're just seeing this person like become more themselves, and like they're identifying their strengths and weaknesses, and like not portraying them like out on their sleeve. They're on display, and you understand that they're a person, not just like a personality, and it's fucking great. Oh man, do we have any last questions before we end the XP Talk Show? Etwurt, I got a question for you. Who do you want to raid?
Who do I want to raid? Oh boy. Let's see. Let me see who's on. There we go. Open that up. Let's see. Okay. Ooh. Got a few people on here right now. Everybody's streaming right now. Holy shit. All right.
Do the investigation and see if they're like ending soon or whatever, and then let me know.
All right. I think this person just started, and this person's near and dear to my heart. He's like the little brother I never wanted. The way I describe him. He's a little shit, and I love him. He talks so much shit to me, but I love it. Let's raid Butt Shoes.
Butt Shoes. Let's go, dude. All right, cool.
I love Butt Shoes.
Okay. I'll keep this queued up here. Flight attendant, welcome in, dude. We're actually ending the stream, but you can catch us. You're fucking late, bro. But you can catch the schedule in the info panel is where you can find like when I'll be streaming. If you want to follow Etwurt, please fucking give this man a follow. One of my favorite streamers, one of my favorite people.
Thank you. Same.
7:42, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, bro. Did you tell flight attendant to come at 7:42?
No, I said. I did not say 7:42. He's being funny.
Etwurt, do you have anything coming up that you want to tell anybody about? You're gonna be live tomorrow, right?
Yeah, no, not tomorrow. I'm gonna be live again Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I believe, and Sunday I'm doing a music stream for the first time, like in, I don't know.
Are you gonna be making music live, or are we gonna be like premiering a project or something?
Just making music live, like
fuck yeah.
I'm gonna try and make a song like an hour, half hour, and then do that a couple times, and then see how that comes out.
Gotcha.
How that works for a stream. So it's my first time doing something like this in a year, so.
Fuck yeah. Please follow Etwurt and turn notifications on so you can see when he goes live. Thank you guys for joining the XP Talk Show. I appreciate you guys being patient while we were going through this with notifications turned off and all that. Thank you, Misty Red, for the host, Zeus Cannon for the 100 bits, Sampo for fucking gifting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking subs, Chief Hong Kong for the raid, and Cape It for the raid. Thank you guys so much. For everything that you guys do, not only for me, but for everyone. Like, I fucking can't thank you guys enough. The fact that you guys are so supportive of like the talk show and participating in chat and I can't even articulate it more than just thank you. Thank you guys so much. we are going to raid Butt Shoes. The raid message is going to be supple boys in chat.
Supple boys in chat. Yes, I like that. Aw, Alpha Pest was here. Aw. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, he was here the whole time.
Coming in.
Okay.
My heart right now.
Supple. Bam. There you go. All right, guys. I love you. I miss you. Kiss him goodbye, Etwurt.
Mwah. And oh, hold on. I can just do this. Mwah, mwah, mwah. There.
We'll see you guys later. I love you.